Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a great day so far. My name is JurassicKM and welcome to today's video. Today I am sharing my spoiler thoughts on Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 2. Just like with the last season, I've given everyone a week to watch the season before I spill the beans. So if you still have not watched Season 2 yet, this is your final spoiler warning and your last chance to back out. To answer any initial questions, yes, Chaos Theory Season 2 is good. Is it as good as Season 1? I'm not convinced it is. Season 1 really raised the bar as far as Jurassic expanded media goes, so let's see if we can figure this out together. As for what I liked in this season, there's plenty to discuss. The central 5 characters from last season still feel like the same characters this time around, with the exception of Kenji. Given what happened last season, Kenji is the embodiment of the phrase, "Whatever doesn't kill you gives you a dark sense of humor and unhealthy coping mechanisms." And there are a couple of moments where I flat out expected Yaz to slap him and shout, "What is wrong with you?" Despite me not being pleased with the character still being alive, I think Kirsten Kelly is great as Brooklyn and really makes the character her own. At no point did I think to myself, man, I wish Jenna Ortega was back. As for the new characters, I didn't find any of them irritating, and I would not be opposed to Zaina becoming a permanent member of the cast. Let's talk villains for a moment. The mute Atrociraptor handler is not back for Season 2, nor are Ghost, Tiger, and Panthera outside of a flashback showing that it was actually Ghost who took Brooklyn's arm due to the mute handler's commands, not the Allosaurus. However, Atrociraptor Red finally makes an appearance and is the sole Atrociraptor of the season otherwise. This is because the broker mentioned in Season 1 is revealed to be none other than Sayona Santos. Obviously, this is not the first time that the Netflix series have brought in characters from the films, but this is the first time, at least as far as my research is telling me, that an actor from the films reprised their role for the series. It was great to hear Deachin Lockman back as Santos, and I look forward to seeing how this leads to where we saw her in Dominion. Now, there's some villainous ship crew, but they don't play enough of a role to really dive into. Sorry, guys. That cannot be said, however, for Dr. Sar. Sure, the character was only in a couple of episodes at the end of the season, but he is that archetypical mad scientist who puts too much faith in his creation, an eyeless acoustic baryonyx, and went so far as to use the facility's entire operations team to quote-unquote test said creation. He doesn't make it out of the series, and it's satisfying to see him meet his comeuppance after Red learns to click her tongue in a way that mimics Sar's finger snaps he used to command his baryonyx. Yeah, the Atrociraptor is shown to be quite intelligent and genuinely frightening, not just hired muscle like they were in Season 1 and Dominion. Now, on the topic of deaths, Season 2 does get bolder with its on-screen violence. While any human deaths are obscured or outright committed off-screen, there are still plenty of intense moments. There's Majungasaurus blood on the deck of the ship, Majungasaurus Major's ambush of the Gallimimus, a Suchomimus being injured by a Stegosaurus, a Dimorphodon getting snatched out of the air by a different Suchomimus, and then that Suchomimus being killed by Major in a bloodless yet brutal fashion. Dr. Sars being visibly pulled to the ground by the baryonyx before its neck blocks the killing blow from being seen. Yeah, it gets a little intense in places. You may notice that most of these deaths involve animals rather than people, and you'd be correct to assume so. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but Season 2 does have a smaller body count than Season 1. If you watch these properties to take a shot every time someone gets killed by a dinosaur, you're going to go thirsty this season. Now, as far as the dinosaur roster goes, Season 2 only adds one new species with Majungasaurus, but we do get to see plenty of interesting color variants, such as 3 different versions of my second favorite dinosaur, Suchomimus. There's the 2 seen in Season 1, plus a new color variant, the Leucoustic Baryonyx, and Geba the Gallimimus, who actually briefly engages Red in combat. Those feet and forelimbs could do some damage if they connected. I look forward to doing repaint videos showcasing all of these new designs, as some of them look like they'll be a lot of fun. Outside of the intro, there is not a single Tyrannosaurus Rex in the season, and you only hear a Velociraptor briefly on the ship, although Red does use some Velociraptor noises, which still annoys me. In terms of pros, the last thing I want to discuss is the series' location. I honestly thought we were going to end up at another island, so imagine my surprise when the story went to Senegal, Africa. This lends itself to a great moment where Darius and the group jump to conclusions on how to handle dinosaurs being close to the Mabalos farm, only to actually make things worse. This also brings up an interesting fact that one of the most formidable creatures that the cast of characters of a Jurassic Park series has had to contend with is a hippopotamus. Seriously, those things are scary if you didn't already know. And in a real fight between a hippopotamus and a Suchomimus, honestly, my money's on the hippo. Once again, Chaos Theory does Dinosaurs on the Mainland better than Dominion did, and this is coming from someone who has fun with Dominion. As for things that I didn't like, well, there's not too many, but there's one that really had a big impact. Now, I know that they're on a cargo ship full of noisy dinosaurs, but how did the group think that no one would discover them if they were hollering every time their shipping container tilted? Honestly, I'm surprised it took them that long to get caught. The Dinosaur Liberation Now group didn't really do anything other than provide Brooklyn with an outlet to get to Dubai, I guess, which led to her discovering Santos was the broker. The leader, Ernest, or as I like to refer to him, off-brand Dinofax, totally has quote-unquote nice guy vibes, and I'm wondering if this is a seed being planted for a bigger role in Season 3. I didn't watch the trailer he was in until after I watched the season, and I guess it was an accurate representation because he was showcased briefly at the start of the trailer and then discarded, just like the episode he was in on the show. For some reason, I expected Compsognathus Gordon to have a bigger role, but Gordon has probably less than a minute of screen time. He's the same color as a regular Camp Cretaceous Compsognathus, so I guess that's one less color scheme to have to paint. Season 2 doesn't elaborate on why Sammy and her parents aren't on speaking terms. Perhaps it isn't important to the overall story, but I would still like to know. I mean, everyone else is airing out their baggage, so why can't she? Over the course of Season 2, I felt like something was missing. Something that was always present during Season 1, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I looked through my notes on my Season 1 thoughts, and it clicked. Season 1 had this constant feeling of dread and paranoia as the characters came together to figure out the mystery of why they were being hunted and no one could be trusted. Here, that paranoia is gone. There's still a few, wait, what? Moments for them here in Season 2, but it wasn't the same. Season 2 understandably spends time filling in the gaps and answering questions of what happened to Brooklyn and what she has been up to, but there isn't that feeling of constantly looking over your shoulder. It also doesn't help that we, as an audience, know that Brooklyn is alive and what her motives are, which I theorized correctly in my Season 1 spoiler talk, but the other 5 don't know this information, so rather than searching for clues and answers alongside the main 5 characters, it felt like I was waiting for them to get caught up. Now that Brooklyn has earned Soyona's trust, although I think Soyona isn't as trusting of Brooklyn as she's letting on, the season ends with her and Soyona on a Jurassic Park 3 style plane flying off to Biosyn, while the other 5 are left gobsmacked on the runway at their friends' actions. This leads me to theorize that Season 3 will not be a conspiracy mystery angle, but more like a rescue operation to save Brooklyn from Soyona and Biosyn. So to go back to the question posed earlier, is Season 2 as good as Season 1? I'm going to say no, but that doesn't automatically make it bad. I'm still looking forward to what they do in Season 3, and while I'm keeping an open mind about next year's Rebirth, I would not debate anyone who said that the future of this franchise lies in streaming, not theaters. I would rank Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 2 above Jurassic World Dominion, but below Season 1. So folks, those are my spoiler thoughts on Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 2. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the season. Did you think it was better than Season 1? Did you think it was worse? If so, let me know why. Folks, if you've made it this far into the video, I do want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for any future notifications, and share this video around. And until next time, this is JurassicKM, signing off.